Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier porpoise preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
I am changed. My name is Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco Farms presents The Lemon King, a gigantic aggressive lemon that seems to be in charge of the others. Monstroco Farms. What the fuck?
I did organize all the lemons in my house, though.
Yeah, you have to
I don't know if that's a good thing.
you can't, well, no, you can, you put it amongst the other lemons, and once it like whips them into shape, you have to immediately remove it from the other lemons and isolate it, or else it'll impregnate your lemons, and then you've got just like 20 or 30 lemon kings.
Yeah. Well, it'll eat a litter of lemons.
Yeah, and they're all vying for dominance, and then one will get so big that it you come home one day and it's wearing your necktie and it's going to your job and it's signing your paychecks.
I mean, is it going into my account though?
It's learning to talk like you.
Doesn't sound bad overall.
Yeah, then you can just escape and go to the woods and live the life of a lemon.
You can climb back up on that tree.
Yeah.
I'm the lemon now, boys.
Folks, believe it or not, this is not a lemon-centric nor dolphin-centric podcast this week. We're doing something of a deep dive into lizard people.
Yes.
You know them, you love them, or maybe you fear them. The lizard people, some say, are pulling the strings behind our society. Others say, that's schizophrenia. You should talk to somebody. And still others say, help. Lizard people stole my skin. Those are the three things.
They say a lot of things, yeah.
Some people say all of those things together
all at
in one
once,
sentence.
before noon.
They do, and I think since we're all doing lizard people topics, I think I want to go first because I'm just doing, I think, the first modern depiction of lizard people, the Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp.
A favorite.
Indeed.
This happened in the 1900s. 1980 was the first mention of it.
The original Sleestack.
And let's go into the story. I'm pulling this from Wikipedia.com. Think about contributing to them or maybe doing some of your own editing. One time I edited that I was the sole owner of the high score for a Atari game called Warlords. It was fun.
My
week.
Wikipedia posits that I could only be killed by a branch of holly through the heart.
No, you should never put your weakness on Wikipedia.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Somebody found it out.
Wikipedia.
Sure.
I'll refuse to say it right. So let's go into the Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp for this deep dive into lizardmen and people and persons.
Dive into Lizard Man. Much
In
like
the
that
folklore
dolphin dove
of
into
Lee
many
County-
a fated pirate.
In Lee County, South Carolina, the Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp is an entity said to inhabit the swampland of that region. First mentioned in the late 1980s, the purported sightings and damage attributed to the creature yielded a significant amount of newspaper, radio, and television publicity. Let's go into the history. It was July 14th, 1988.
About 2 weeks from now.
Oh, anniversary time.
Go out into the swamp, cover yourself in crickets, and summon the Lizard Man.
The Lee County Sheriff's Office investigated a report of a car damaged overnight that was parked at a home in the area of Browntown outside of Bishopsville, South Carolina.
God. Can you imagine getting to the place you're going to start your new town and being like, what are we going to call it?
Oh, Brown.
Well, it's pretty brown and barren here. How about Browntown? Turn that frown upside down. We're a bunch of
Browntown.
clowns. Welcome to Browntown.
Browntown, of course, is on the edge of Scape or Swamp. The car reportedly had tooth marks and scratches with hair and muddy footprints left behind. Sheriff Liston Truesdale noted this was the start of various claims that eventually coalesced into a story about a lizard person in the swamp.
Okay. Did he also note that lizards don't have hair?
I mean, some dinosaurs do.
Okay, fair enough.
They're
Carry
like
on.
hair like feathers,
I
but
withdraw my criticism.
I also thought of that while reading it and saying it out loud again, going like, I mean, this could be closer to a swamp foot situation.
Sure. Hairy ass lizard. That's even scarier.
I forgot what it's called, but we have a guest coming up in the next 2 weeks, and we're going down south again to talk about said swamp foot
Said
creature.
Ooh.
hairy lizard.
So get ready for that. Get ready for that.
Huh?
Where
For
was
the
I in
reptile
this
mullet.
history? Prompted by
Business in the front, lizard in the back.
the news of the vehicle damage, 17-year-old Christopher Davis reported to the sheriff that his car was damaged by a creature that he described as green, wet-like, and 7 feet tall. It had 3 fingers, red eyes, skin like a lizard, snake-like scales, and this attack happened 2 weeks prior. According to Davis, he was driving home from working the night shift at a fast food restaurant when his car got a flat tire. After fixing it, he saw the creature walking toward him.
Uh-oh.
Davis got in his car and began to drive, but the creature was soon on top of the car.
Yikes.
He applied his brakes, causing the creature to roll off of the car,
That's a
giving
good move.
Davis enough time to escape. Smart move, smart move.
Yeah, that's a good move. I
Coverage
do like the idea of him seeing it and then like just like, no thank you.
and the creatures
No,
are
we
like,
don't need any.
No. Terminator 2 or what was it? T2000 just runs at it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway, got on top of the car, but the creature could not hold on when the kid or Davis hit the brakes. Coverage by the newspaper and media resulted in increased attention for his claims. Local businesses began selling Lizard Man t-shirts, and the
Okay.
local Chamber of Commerce encouraged the media attention as good for the community.
Okay.
It's a very funny response for the town after hearing the kid say, no, it wasn't a kid. I promise you, it was not some kid.
Yeah.
It was a lizard I hit with my car.
Yeah.
I like it when towns, and we've discussed them a little bit, such as the Russian state that the governor proposed, or the governor.
It was like a Siberian town where they
Yeah.
declared the Yeti was real.
The Yeti was real. Not only that, but the governor hired
dressed
people
up.
to dress up as the Yeti and try and get people to see the Yeti. Not like hired a Yeti mascot and trolled him out through the community as a fun mascot, but like actually hid someone out in the deep woods to make it seem like Yeti was real.
Sure. And
So
at
I
that
love
point,
it when
haven't you
towns and
just
communities do this. Just like
Ha-
latch on.
yeah, at that point, haven't you just really built a Yeti? Like, no, you have to live out
Yeah.
there. You have to live out there forever and eat mushrooms and berries and hide from sight.
The increase in newspaper and media publicity prompted further reports and sightings, and the area soon became a tourist attraction for visitors and hunters. It fucking works. Tell people you got a cryptid. We'll go there.
They'll go. They want to hunt it. People never underestimate what hunters want to kill and eat.
Local
It's everything.
radio station WCOS offered $1 million reward to anybody who could capture the creature alive.
Mm-hmm.
Not dead, alive.
They want it alive.
They want to shake its hand. They want to learn its legends. They want to meet its women.
Mm-hmm.
On August 5th, Kenneth Orr, an airman stationed at Shaw Air Force Base, filed a police report alleging he had encountered the lizard man on Highway 15
Oh, got one.
and that he had shot and wounded it
Whoa. Why?
because he wasn't listening to the end of it. All he heard was $1 million reward, and then he got his gun.
Was the lizard man reaching for its gun?
He presented several scales and a small amount of blood as evidence.
Wow.
Kenneth Orr recounted his account 2 days later when he was arraigned for unlawfully carrying a pistol and the misdemeanor offense of filing a false police report. So he was all like, oh, no, I was just joking. I'm just shooting my gun in the woods.
To tell you the truth, I don't know who I shot.
But
All
here's
I know
his
is I
blood.
ripped these scales off of him.
Yeah, what? Where were the scales from? Did he say? I mean, I guess you don't have to look too far to find scales.
He didn't say. I don't think they got into it.
Yeah.
I think that he had scales though and a small amount of
Yeah,
blood, but at
well,
this
you know.
time they didn't test it or anything.
Yeah.
I guess we could.
Maybe it was
request the blood.
put in a FOIA for the blood.
Yeah.
Like lizard man
maybe-
blood, please.
Maybe it was one of those situations that's always coming up where, he was like, oh, you thought I said scales. I said scabs. I just handed you some of my scabs.
Oh God, I'm gonna need them back.
He said after all of this that he hoaxed it in order to keep the lizard man stories in circulation.
Nobody believes in the lizard man anymore.
Anymore.
I need to keep hope alive. You know, every Lizardmas Eve, children are expecting to find a sock full of old dead rats and coughed up bird eggs from the lizard man.
But
I
that
love
is
civic misadventure.
the lizard man of Scape or Swamp.
Only encountered that one time over those few weeks, but boy did it cause a hubbub. Would you call this a hubbub?
Well. This is a photo of the lizard man.
Oh, hit me.
God damn it, I gotta go the back way.
Where are we at?
This is a lizard man photo from 2015. And I'm gonna share it. This is why you subscribe to our YouTube. This is a legitimate, agreed upon, official photo of the lizard man from 2019. And I gotta say, he's looking great.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
Come on.
So there's now a festival of the lizard man.
Lord. I'm sorry, I'm seeing a play button there. Is this a video?
It's a CNN video talking
Is
about
Lizard
the
Man
festival.
back? Boy, that's not even a good costume. That's like fucking Power Rangers quality.
Yeah, but anyway, there's a festival now in Browntown. Check it out if you're ever in the area at the right time. I'm sure they have, I hope, lizard legs you can munch on.
Oh, hell yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
a fun one.
absolutely.
Think about that. Obviously they're turkey legs, but let's pretend and have fun in something.
What is a
Right,
turkey
right.
but a big evolved lizard?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jordan gets it. But that's my segment. Lizard Man 101 of Scape or Swamp.
I have
I have a minor addendum for
Go
that,
ahead.
actually, if you want. There's a Newsweek article from 2017. Solar eclipse could bring lizard people, South Carolina emergency officials warn.
man.
And yeah, apparently at I don't remember. There must have been a solar eclipse in, I don't know, mid-July.
There
I
was.
guess,
There was.
or-
We all got glasses for it. It was a pretty big thing in America.
I
Or in
gotta
August?
say,
Yeah.
if that's what your emergency officials are focused on, things in your state are going okay.
Yeah, the South Carolina Emergency Management Division actually put out a statement, quote, regarding possible paranormal activity potentially occurring during the solar eclipse 2017. As always, if you see something, say something. And then, the article Newsweek says it's possibly tongue-in-cheek, and I'm sure it was, but also, very possibly, this lizard man is more important to South Carolina than we believe. And, he's out there.
He's
Here's
out
my
there.
question.
Protect yourself.
How
Every
would
eclipse,
you
there's sightings
guys
apparently.
How would you guys catch the lizard man? Let's say there's an eclipse coming up.
Sure.
There's however many thousands of
Right.
$10,000 bounty. You're gonna get you some of that lizard man alive.
Yep. Electric net.
Yeah,
Net
net.
with a battery attached
Bag
to it.
full of-
Throw it on
bag-
there. Maybe hit the lizard man in the head with the battery.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll put him down. for a
Monstruco
minute at
electric
least.
net.
Bag of flies.
Bag of flies. Monstruco
Yeah,
bag of
you'll get-
flies.
You might get a frogman, but
Mm.
I think
Boy,
you're equally likely to get a lizard man.
what a slap in the face that would be, Ron. Oh, I got something. Ah, it's that damn frogman again.
Golden Frogger.
But
then
it's
you
still
can-
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
It's just
very
not
cool,
what you
but you're not
want.
going to get a reward for it. I'm thinking big old bug on the end of a fishing line. Like a big old delicious looking bug.
And and just reel them on in.
Yeah.
And then I drop my electric net and battery on them,
Mm-hmm.
killing everything in the
Electric
pond.
net. I'm imagining like a car battery.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not using it like.
You killed him. You killed him. That's got to be worth at least $5,000, right? Can you imagine showing up to the, I don't know, Elks Lodge, I presume is where they're running this thing out of,
Yep.
with a dead lizard man, and they're like, that's not what we asked for.
And they put away the giant jar of money.
Thank you for discovering this undiscovered creature, but you didn't follow the rules. The money is now off the table.
Yeah, this was 10,000 lizard bucks. That shows the true face of George Washington. Lizard face. All right, y'all. Nate, would you like to have the speaking skull next, or shall I?
Sure, I'll jump in there. Speaking of George Washington's lizard face,
Mm-hmm.
this is I got a bunch of articles here about all kinds of the people that lizards might be. Well, the first thing I want to start off with is: does Demi Lovato believe in lizard people? I feel like that's
we've
important
talked about
to us
this
all.
before.
We do know, we know it. Back in 2020, when gyms were closed and hand weights were sold out, the at-home fitness class subscription site Gaia, it's mainly about Gaia, saw a dramatic increase in subscribers. While its yoga classes were a big part of the sell, the site is also a consciousness expanding platform offering documentaries, meditation classes, and various additional resources. Apparently that December, this article's from 2020, Alicia Keys gave Gaia a shout out.
Hey, all right.
As did Demi Lovato. And if you start getting into Gaia, who we've mentioned before, I highly recommend going to peruse their website. Try not to get too locked in because they're
Once
all
again,
insane
they're a
people.
cult.
Because they
They're
are
a cult,
Yeah.
a new age spiritualism cult that is using meditation as a way to communicate with aliens
Mm-hmm.
and telling you it's all legitimate and that you should give them money.
Which technically is what we're doing too, but you know.
Well,
yeah, but we're not saying that it's gonna give you superpowers and allow you to.
Right.
Except for that one episode in where we literally told you
we
how
did
to
say that.
communicate
We
and get
did.
superpowers.
Mhm. That's true, actually.
Anyway, if you could check out our Patreon and give us money,
yeah.
it's patreon.com/werewolf radar, and we'll give you 7
Powers.
husbands. Powers and 7 husbands.
Get just 7 husbands. Fill up a room. Gaia is filled with high-quality conspiracy theory videos on topics ranging from aliens to reptile overlords and anti-vax sentiments. Notably, the series from, of course, David Icke talking about how the world's run by lizard people.
Mm-hmm.
The article goes on also to say whether Lovato is aware of all this is unclear. I'm pretty sure she knows. Nonetheless, once new Gaia subscribers sign up, they can see her favorite videos, including a series claiming that Atlantis is real and that humanity is living in the aftermath of a battle between giants and, you guessed it, lizard-like reptilians.
Ah,
Of course.
Who won? I guess
100%
it'll go on.
Well,
We did.
It's continuing, I'm sure. Then there's this article about a service called Telegram. Telegram's Power of Light promotes conspiracy theory about lizard people. On April 6th, Facebook user Leva Navi published a post about lizard people, claiming that the majority are matrix bots. They use bodies of invited actors while their heads have, quote,
Whoa.
a demonological structure.
Whoa.
All right.
He also notes that these creatures eat human flesh and commit a lot of crimes against humanity.
Whoa.
Yeah, but we do that too.
Yeah,
I mean, not
we're
us,
just
not Werewolf Radar as an organization. I just meant humanity. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Unless
It's,
you guys want
it's
to
like
get into it.
It's like they have in the back of Sort of People magazine. Lizards, they're just like us. The author also claims that precisely they rule the world and own natural resources. The post is accompanied by the photo of the Biden administration showing, as Levon Navi claims, their symbolism. I don't know what he means by that. Also, he wrote this entire thing in weird alien speech that looks like it comes out of a Futurama episode.
Yeah, I think this
Just like
motherfucker
upside-down
might
curly
be an
cues.
alien.
The author of the post also notes that U.S. President Joe Biden and his cabinet belong to this category of shape-shifting reptilian humanoids, and that incest, pedophilia, wars, cannibalism, and genocide of nations are the fruits of their labor.
Oy.
Those are some
Now,
bad fruit.
That's bad fruits.
fruit.
You
Well-
can grow other things. Why didn't you plant wheat?
Yeah, I'm doing microgreens these days.
Ooh, microgreens
Would you
are
like-
good.
Would you like to hear about some of the people fighting on the side of humanity against this
Absolutely.
alien invasion?
Brendan
Werewolf
Fraser.
radar. Brandon Fraser.
This first one is an article that comes from the Peninsula Humane Society and SPCA.
SPCA. SPCA.
The article is entitled Beware the Lizard People. Not sure how I missed this when it first hit the news, but as reported a few weeks back, the Parkland Police Department, a community outside Tacoma, Washington, responded to calls of a heavily armed man standing next to his car in the middle of the street. It is tragically clearly no joke these days when someone's out in public brandishing weapons. Fortunately, the police were able to talk him into voluntarily coming into their custody without further incident. The fellow explained his actions were due to his having heard that morning from President Donald Trump, the leader of the free world, he explained, had called him to regretfully inform this Parkland resident that his family had been abducted by the lizard people,
Whoa.
specifically by their alpha dragon leader.
What the
Whoa.
fuck you think Trump's gonna do about it? Or did I misunderstand the story?
No, Trump called him to say,
warned him.
your family has been abducted by the alpha dragon leader.
Listen, I have terrible news for you this morning. I'm sorry. But they've got him. They've got your family and they're coming to take you next. Get out in the street. I'm sorry.
I need $15.
Give me $15, please.
Anyway, it goes on to say that in the same interview, the self-styled reptile people combatant also acknowledged his unorthodox nutritional plan, which was basically snorting methamphetamine in order to drop a bunch of unwanted pounds.
Well,
It's first of all, it worked for everyone in the 70s. It worked for all the punk bands in the 80s. I don't see what crushing up some diet pills and snorting them has ever done wrong.
side effects may include the lizard people coming to take away your family.
If your whole family. He did say, here's a quote from him, the meth doesn't make me crazy, man. The lizard people are real.
See, he gets it.
He was, of course, taken to a hospital and checked into, some sort of treatment program.
Treated for acute crazy methitis.
Treated
Now,
for
there's-
have to silence the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the only meth-addled gun brandisher who's out there fighting the good fight.
Okay.
Because a lot of followers of QAnon made it to the front of the lizard battle. This is a different article from a little while later. A self-proclaimed member of the far-right Proud Boys group who also believes in the QAnon conspiracy theory allegedly murdered his own brother with a sword.
Oh boy.
Prosecutors say Buckley Wolf, 26, killed his brother in Seattle on Sunday night by stabbing him in the head with a 4-foot-long sword.
Cool name, bad deed.
Wolf, who prosecutors say exhibited signs of mental illness, called police himself after the killing and claimed he thought his brother was a lizard, the Seattle Times reports. When detectives arrived, he asked them if they saw other lizards, according to court filings. Wolf has been charged with second-degree murder. A Facebook page confirmed to belong to Wolf by a local Seattle TV station is filled with references to Trump and other conservative figures, as well as the cartoon character Pepe the Frog, who, of course, has been embraced by the far right. The Facebook page also features a declaration of allegiance to the Proud Boys, the group's first degree of membership. Quote, I'm a proud Western chauvinist, and I refuse to apologize for creating the modern world, one post from February reads, before referencing the Proud Boys slogan, Uhuru, which I did not know was a Proud Boys thing, that they stole Nichelle Nichols' character's name from Star Trek.
What? It gets so much crazier the deeper you go into that thing. We got so many code words, you won't even believe it, man.
It's a lot of effort, and I get it. American society doesn't have a culture outside of consumerism now once you're many generations in and just you like the Macy's Day Parade. But the point is, you gotta know when it's crazy and made up. None of this is real.
You gotta.
Well, I've got one more for you. One more guy who really he goes all the way to the mat, battling the lizard men. A Santa Barbara father charged with murdering his 2 children in Mexico because he thought they had serpent DNA appeared Thursday in Los Angeles federal court. In court records, FBI agents said Matthew Coleman confessed to stabbing his children south of Rosarito, Mexico, because he thought he was saving the world from monsters.
Holy moly.
In court Thursday, Coleman seemed coherent and answered several questions from the magistrate judge, even acknowledging that he understood the charges against him. The surf instructor told agents he stabbed his 2 young children to death with a spearfishing gun because he, quote, was enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories and believed his wife, quote, possessed serpent DNA and had passed it on to his children.
Wowie.
Now that is horrific.
That's fucked up.
Yes.
But what does the science say about the children's DNA?
It
it's a crime regardless. Lizard lives matter just like everyone else's lives. You know, like don't kill the lizard people. But was it lizard DNA?
Yeah, they have lizard DNA that came from his wife, who presumably is one of these hybrids. If you had that Gaia is more than willing to tell you all about. I'm just saying, you know, these guys are on the front lines fighting against the lizard invasion, and Demi Lovato sure to go there soon. You know, I say we stand behind her.
I'm out.
I like that our show on.
I think I'm out.
I like how our side quest for our show has been documenting Demi Lovato's entrance into the UFO religion that is Gaia.
And Kesha. We were there when Kesha.
Yeah, but Kesha's there for the money and because
Kesha's
of
always
ghost
been
sex.
there.
Yeah, for that ghost sex. Mm-hmm.
I understand and respect that.
I will say...
anyway, these are the real world ramifications of lizard people conspiracies.
Does it make it sadder or funnier that he's a surf instructor?
Funnier, but also way more brutal somehow.
Here's the deal, dudes.
Yeah.
I think you might have serpent DNA. So we're going to go for a boat ride.
You kids want to go spear fishing with Dad?
No, never. No. Never, no, never.
It does seem like weird that he seems like one of those dudes who would be after like midway through your surf. You're like out on the waves, just waiting for the next one because you've done the whole day. And now it's time to actually like apply that knowledge. And then he's like, before you go out, if I told you about the lizard people that rule us all.
Before you go out there, you're not a lizard person, are you? You have to tell me. It's part of the surf instructor's code.
Yeah, the surf instructor's code is the only code that truly matters in America.
Yeah. If you hear a fellow surfer say that they're hanging 6, you know that guy is a 3-toed monster.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, it's you know, that's the other side of the lizard men. You know, sometimes it's a fun guy in a costume in Scape County.
Mm-hmm. Festival every year. The only festival unstopped by COVID.
You know, that's kind of the line that we're always walking here at Werewolf Radar is like, is this a fun story about a hidden monster, or do you need to talk to someone right away?
It's most of it. Oh, thank you.
It's most, if not all of it. All right, Nate, is there anything else that we need to know about the lizard men invading society?
Well, I mean, there could be a lot more if we wanted to delve into some of David Icke's poetry, but I don't think that's safe for any of us to do unless we're super stoked on methamphetamines.
I think we should do a separate YouTube video to where you read the poetry of David Icke under lo-fi beats. Or over lo-fi beats.
While doing so much math.
While doing all the math.
There's follow these simple steps to see the lizard men and every step is meth. Do meth. Step 2, do some more meth. Step 3, meth again.
Make sure it's diet meth. This can't just be meth off the street. This has to legitimately have a medical reason.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical
that is
meth.
Losing weight.
Yeah, don't take the crystal meth. We're saving that for when your brother gets out. Your brother only gets out of prison once every couple of years. Get the good meth, the crystal meth.
There is a whole bunch of there's a weird thing that you can kind of track stuff like David Icke and some of these lizard man conspiracy theory things back to like real early theosophy. Like I was reading some Madame Blavatsky stuff, The Secret Doctrine. I don't recommend trying to read it. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. But there's a bunch of stuff in there where they talk about the symbolism, like the Gnostic symbolism of serpents and dragons, meaning like wise men who are carrying knowledge. And there's sort of a direct line, if you wanted to do like a modern day retelling of it, the way that like Icke has done about the different the reptilian aliens and the invasion of and putting their DNA into humans to like make them smarter and better people.
Like they
There's
do.
like weird parallels.
Yeah.
It's such a bummer that something where they were like, no, clearly this is symbology, and you're not meant to actually believe that these men bringing the wisdom of the stars are dragons.
And then David Icke got a hold of it and was like, no,
he was
they
like,
are.
no, fully real dragons.
They
In
are
fact,
dragons.
Queen Elizabeth is a monster, as is Hillary Clinton, or who I think everybody is a
He gets a
reptile in
little
David Icke's
anti-Semitic
books.
about it.
Pretty much everybody.
Very anti-Semitic. Yeah. I believe he says this in the same book where he says the Holocaust is really not that real.
Oh, God.
He says he's not an anti-Semite, but he does deny the Holocaust.
But then he also says something like that. Yeah. Okay, my turn with the speaking skull. I kind of kicked off this lizard mania amongst us this week by finding a pretty neat article on a website called downthechupacabrahole.com. It's very.
Started your drawing too, I'm gonna assume. You're just in chupacabra land.
I think I actually started before I found this one. But there is a pretty neat picture of Chupacabra on the website he's kind of dressed like the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland and like looking at a pocket watch as though to say, I'm late for a very important goat. This is an article titled "The U.S. Army Encountered Subterranean Reptilians While Stationed in Vietnam."
Wait, what?
That's right. The true war that was being fought was against lizards in the jungle.
I mean, isn't it always?
This is by Ash Kuprick, I think. Down the Chupacabra Hole is very cool. You should check it out. They say over half a century ago, not over a century ago. This is a different Vietnam War.
Well, to be
the
fair,
secret Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is.
to
the
be
secret
fair,
Vietnam War either way.
100 years ago at this time, you would have the Vietnam's in war still. This time against the French.
Okay. In 1970, a U.S. Army corporal was stationed 30 miles from the demilitarized zone in southern Vietnam. John, as he's called, and his team were tasked with constructing bivouac sites throughout the region. One evening, he was patrolling the area in search of enemy troops. After steadily marching through dense brush, the group noticed scattered movement nearby. Each man instinctively braced for armed revolutionists. While hunkering down, sporadic blurs of swift motion could be seen in the dark valley ahead. Within 15 minutes, the activity ceased, so they continued trekking. Moonlight illuminated the rugged terrain as John sauntered forward. I don't know if he sauntered, but that's what they say in the article. In front of him...
That casual walk that we all know from soldiers in Vietnam.
Yeah. In front of him were rocks and boulders unnaturally stacked next to a peculiar structure. Bored into the hillside was a large entry to an underground tunnel system. Its smooth edges appeared to be forged by powerful machinery. The sergeant suspected this unusual doorway could lead to a Viet Cong supply depot.
That's right away where my head was going.
John and his fellow service members approached the passage for further investigation. A putrid stench, similar to rotting flesh, immediately filled the air. Several men vomited and ran backwards towards the woods. I'm out of here. I'm going back to the war.
It sounds like they ran Malignant style. They just ran backwards.
God. Undeterred, John pointed his flashlight into the lair. It's a lair now. Thick fog engulfed the grotto and obstructed his visibility. Behind him, the forest grew ominously quiet as a deep rumbling emanated from the entrance.
Forest knows.
An intense feeling of dread pulsed through his veins as he looked back at the soldiers, the other soldiers, their eyes wide with fear. Dawn started to break, bringing warm rays of sun that illuminated the scene. Something inside the cave began stirring, and a figure suddenly emerged. Standing before the horrified squadron was a 7-foot-tall reptilian humanoid. Another massive creature followed, and the pair produced guttural hissing sounds. John described these beings as quote-unquote upright lizards with shiny, scaled skin. Both possessed serpentine-like features and large, forward-facing eyes, indicative of a predator, as we know.
Right.
The entities wore matching green hooded robes.
Oh,
Yeah.
indicative of cult members.
Yeah, that's sort of a new one.
Now, with the fog coming out and the robes, is it possible that this is a steam room?
It seems
Dude,
likely.
we went right away with ritualistic purposes, as discussed in the Grave Nugget, I think.
Yeah, maybe they're just having a schwitz. Without any command, the stunned infantry opened fire. Guys, no!
Yeah,
Could you
this
say
might
you
be
would
what
have better
kicks it off.
constitution?
I don't think I would shoot. Honestly. I think I would
I'd
try
be
to communicate.
Yeah, I'd be way too mind blown to be like, I gotta kill this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do.
Seconds later, their
Straight
weapons were emptied and the surrounding vegetation was obliterated. Once the smoke dissipated, he realized his saurian antagonists had vanished. Those present believed they retreated into the cavern.
Or just disappeared completely,
Back
slid
to
to
that-
another dimension.
Back to Dimension Hiss. Yeah. Following the terrifying ordeal, John was never debriefed. He completed his tour and remained in the armed forces for many years. Upon retiring from the federal sector, he decided to come forward publicly. Investigators received multiple forms of identification verifying his military record and believe he is telling the truth. Although this incident sounds unbelievable, declassified documents describe numerous encounters with hostile subterranean reptilians.
Wow.
John is not the first person to observe these elusive cryptids and will certainly not be the last. Highly respected individuals from around the world, from government engineers to police officers, are witnessing bipedal lacertids. They call them lacertids here.
There's a lot of coincidences. We have another 7-foot-tall creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The humidity and there's a lot of similarities overall in like the forest structure between Vietnam and parts of South Carolina. It's very wet. There's swamp. It's humid.
The robes are particularly interesting. It almost
That
seems
is
like
different.
they're doing some kind of strange.
Spitzing, as you said.
Yeah. They're having a nice sauna.
Well, and the army has been known to pump up soldiers with various methamphetamines. So if that is the key to seeing the lizard people.
Mm-hmm.
You think these guys had the key? They finally found the keyhole for the key?
Yeah.
Now, I actually dug a little deeper on this because there was a hyperlink in the declassified documents
You gotta
segment,
click that hyperlink.
which I hyperlinked on over to another article from Down the Chupacabra Hole. This one's from May 10th, 2022. The last one was from May 22nd, I believe.
Nice.
No, June 28th, even
Okay.
more recently. Um, so this one goes on. Legends of reptilian humanoids have existed for centuries and span nearly every continent on the planet. Ancient cultures that had no contact or communication with one another describe and depict eerily similar entities. Hopi Native Americans speak of revered snake brothers who lived in underground cities. Aboriginal creation mythology chronicle Ngintaka, a colossal parenti lizard. Asian mythology connects royal bloodlines to a race of powerful dragons. Vedic scriptures reference the Naga as a shape-shifting serpentine breed. Zulu shamans believe the world is controlled by the Chitauri, a sinister saurian force. While many skeptics dismiss such accounts as mere fables, others insist the enigmatic species truly exists. A particularly notable proponent happens to be an esteemed federal agency. In 2008, an intriguing file was declassified by the British Ministry of Defense, that's right, the BMD, titled Unidentified Flying Objects Correspondence.
A Nick Pope publication.
The report contains detailed information regarding ufology. Buried within the 318-page document is a lengthy chapter labeled The Mystery of Iniquity Exposed, the Reality of the Serpent Race and the Subterranean Origin of UFOs. Several astonishing first-hand encounters are described in great detail. One exceptionally terrifying ordeal took place in the blue-collar town of Dixonville, Pennsylvania, in the early 1940s. Two mining inspectors received a frantic call about a collapsed shaft. They rushed to the accident site where 15 coal miners were now helplessly trapped. However, what transpired during the rescue mission would haunt both the men for the rest of their lives. Upon descending into the inner Earth's dark abyss, first responders noticed a broken beam surrounded by fallen rocks and rubble. Laying atop the scattered debris was a lifeless body. Investigators were perplexed by the peculiar arrangement. A cave-in this side would not be large enough to kill someone. Closer inspection on the victim revealed horrifying anomalies. His skin was lacerated with claw-like marks from an unknown predator. As recovery officers cautiously continued exploring, more corpses soon surfaced. The deceased colliers possess identical gruesome injuries. All had succumbed to these inexplicable wounds. Despite scouring the clandestine labyrinth, several miners were still missing. Additional personnel joined the search party in hopes of retrieving potential survivors. Emergency workers meticulously combed the sprawling tunnel system, yet no additional prospectors were uncovered. With each passing hour, crew members began losing hope of finding anyone alive. Despite plummeting morale, the two original inspectors continued their quest. They eventually stumbled upon a mysterious passage within the cavernous layer. After traveling half a mile, an audible rumbling echoed through the grotto. What is this rumbling? What is this rumbling that keeps happening? Is it a big door opening? Is it the lizard man machine firing up? Who knows? A sporadic cave-in left the duo inescapably cornered. Oh, so maybe it was just the cave-in. Nearby staff heard a thunderous crash and rushed to assist the dredgers. Suddenly, one of the claustrophobic men felt, quote-unquote, hot breath on his neck. Panic seized his veins, and he was completely paralyzed in fear. Simultaneously, excavators dug feverishly in an attempt to free the desperate pair. Together, the team bored through the dense gravel and reached their distressed colleagues. The man's partner observed what was standing behind his companion. As he saw the enormous scaled creature running away, he exclaimed in horror, "That thing was not of this world."
Or it's so of this world that it predates humanity.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Due to the nature
Atlantean.
to a space war from 3.2 million years ago.
Due to the nature of this incident, it remained classified for nearly 40 years. On July 14th, 1974, a regional newspaper published an article about the subterranean massacre. Stranger still, numerous eyewitnesses have experienced similar confrontations for decades. During the 1990s, a former government contractor turned whistleblower publicly revealed shocking intel. He stated that deep underground military bases around the globe house reptilian extraterrestrials.
Because they do.
According to the high-ranking insider, these beings are incredibly hostile and consume humans for sustenance. Each year, thousands of people go missing without a trace, often under baffling circumstances. Might it be possible that a nefarious race is covertly dwelling in the shadows? Might it be?
Could
That's up to
explain.
you to decide.
Could explain
Yeah, I
some of the
mean-
missing 411 cases.
Surely
True.
could. Surely could.
Well, also, there were those, maybe some of the prospectors were hybrids that transformed back into their lizard forms
Sure.
and killed all the other miners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, that's some dirty pool.
Dirty pool, mister.
Maybe they were driven insane by the higher echelon of lizard people that were like, they press the button that activates the part of your brain that gives into your lizard side.
There's lizards in them dar holes. That's what they were really mining for. Precious eggs.
For Liz.
Mining for Liz. Well, there you have it. 2 encounters with subterranean reptiles that apparently are carnivorous and do predate humans. Not predate. They're predatory. You get it.
Yeah.
They eat
I think
people.
they
Might
might predate
predate.
human too.
They eat people.
Possible.
They wear robes. They live in the tunnels. Don't go down
Love
there.
Robes.
Don't
Stay
go down into
above
the tunnels.
ground. We're
Stay
above
above ground.
grounders.
We are top worlders.
Except for
What
the bunker,
happens-
which we're currently in.
What happens down there is none of our business, unless they have gold and gems. Well, that does it for this particularly scaly episode of Werewolf Radar. What paranormal preparedness can we offer the folks to help them
well,
against the lizard menace?
Well,
I mean,
you're
I
gonna
think we've
need
already
shield
covered
plating in your
stay
in
out
your
of the
body.
tunnels.
Yeah,
Stay out of the tunnels.
Shield plating, body armor, because the fucking car was torn up. So you need some armor to
It's got to be
match.
better than a car's armor.
Yep.
Yep. Those claws are no joke. I would say talk to a therapist is important. Stop doing meth.
Yep.
Get your hand. I
Yeah.
know you're reaching for the meth jar right now. Get your
Or
hand off of that thing.
perfect the cocktail so that you can go hunting in the tunnels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if
Can
you
you-
are going down there, bring meth. It's the only way to see them.
Now, do exactly what we did. Stay out of the tunnels. Wear a suit of armor. Go to your therapist. Stop doing meth unless you are ready to face the
Yeah.
lizard people.
In that case, wear a suit of armor,
Yep.
do meth, go into the tunnels.
Tell your therapist about it after you succeed.
Tell your therapist about it. See if they want to come with. See if they have any armor
Yeah.
or meth. And of course, as always, if you have any scary stories or topics you'd like us to touch on, join our Discord and tell us about it. Or you can hit us up on Twitter and just message us. We're not these hoity-toity lizard people in an ivory tower who say, "Do not message us." We say, "Message, reply, guy."
We're mammals who love messages from you, the Pingos.
Yep, the MMY. That's us.
And we also have a patron shout out to the Dark Council members
shit.
because we forgot last month, so we're doing 2 this month. Let's go up the scroll.
Can this one be lizardly warble out?
I think so. I think that's
Is that
very.
how the lizard warble?
I think that's very loud.
As
Nick
close to
Bailey.
turkey as we can get.
Michael King, Jason Wardell, Phil Cordo, Janet Bravo, Dylan Gutierrez, Tobias Livingston, the most well-prepared dead guy, Mr. Wolf, Marcelo Duran, Lee Southwell, Jason Sweet, Alicia Coy, Gloria Gray, Adam Passion, Happy Klaboo, Ryan Flint, Liam Dahl, Jessica, Jake Specht, Akurian Soldier, Dean Malik, Dakota Vincent, Brian Ely, Adric Hinkle, and our Chancellor of Madness, Michael Prazak.
My dog is worried about me.
Tell her it's all okay.
She says, "Are you the lizard people? I can't believe it. Here in my own home."
If you want your name
What
to
an
be,
honor.
to be shouted over the warblings of the lizard people, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfradar. You also get awesome fiction, you get awesome art, you get awesome grave nuggets from all three of us. It's a place to be if you like some paranormal stuff.
Place to be.
Plus, if you like games and stuff, we got a Twitch, twitch.tv/werewolf_radar.
Hell yeah.
D&D every Monday.
We're back
Games
this week.
randomly throughout the week.
Yeah. And
That's all
shout
for
out
promotion,
to
really.
Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. And shout out to you, the listener, for giving us 5 stars everywhere 5 stars can be handed over to us.
Please.
Until next time, as always, our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch
the sky! Spaceman Joe. Sound design by Blue Blanket Sound. Contact them at hello@blueblanketsound.com or www.blueblanketsound.com.